All right, you guys, I just got to the homie spot right now, and there's a certain amount of energy about it. I know that sounds a little bit cheesy maybe, but I can't wait to show you guys what he's working on. My guy Mikey is a very low-key kind of guy. He doesn't post a lot. He doesn't do a lot of the social media thing, and yet he's part of some of the greatest builds that come out of this area. So roll with me right now as we go behind the scenes with M-FAB. Let's go. Hey, look at this dude. He's watching Car Talk. What up, dog?
He's like, well, you're on here twice.
What's that?
You're on here twice.
I know. You're watching Car Talk right now?
Rear
seat delete slash, like, you know, canton mount slash fuel
What's
mount.
good?
Like
What's up, brother? Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, dog.
This is it, man.
Oh, you're watching the newest episode?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So right when you think
Shout out to
you don't have
Yasu
any
and
blue,
Exceed.
and
Oh,
there's
what?
no gray or
The
all
homies
black.
at Vibrant.
In another place, you'll get blue.
So we're gonna
And
go
so
through
that's
this
how it's
right
all
now.
tied together.
That's very weird watching myself. Let's turn that off. That's
So I
super
use
weird.
Vibrant line.
You're on here twice.
That's
I got two mics.
Yo, look. Here's the thing. Hold on, check it. I'm wearing this hoodie. This fool's wearing that hoodie, and Ryan's wearing that hoodie, the Thinkers hoodie, in the Car Talk. So it's a triple whammy of it's cool, but it's awkward. I'm not even gonna lie.
You know,
Hey.
so hey, you gotta rock it. So
Hey,
I love
man.
it here.
I do love it here, man. I love it here because of a lot of reasons, but honestly, a lot of it has to do with you and the Namsayan brothers.
Appreciate it.
It's about good people, man, regardless of the region or the geography of it, right? And when we talked about that in the podcast, it's just a matter of putting in the effort,
Definitely.
regardless of what that means, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like in that one episode of the Think Bigger podcast, where like, what does it mean to travel, right?
Right.
It doesn't even matter if the person lives across the street or across the world.
Yep.
You know, it's about where your mind is,
Definitely.
right, and things like that. So, you know, Mikey, you were on the podcast, and we talked about your fab work.
Yeah.
But also that one was much more about your family, your life. You know, being
Upbringing,
an immigrant, how you made it to this point, and that's why it's really cool to have done that.
Definitely.
And now we get to focus on your actual work, right?
Yeah.
So let's I mean, can you bless us with a walkthrough of the shop space and what you're working on right now?
So, I mean, you know, just the main thing for me was, you know, my family is important to me. Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things. I want to be close to the wife, the kids. And so I wanted it to be a home thing.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to just do things here. And it just makes it easier for me just because then, you know, shop space, overhead, all that stuff.
So
and
doing it out of your garage is on purpose.
it is on purpose.
See, I like that.
Yeah. Because I've experienced in working for somebody before, you know, you kind of experience what they go through as a company and the, you know, ups and downs.
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't like about it, I guess, is it took the fun out of it, right? I was losing purpose on what I was doing, what I was enjoying, versus to, you know, when I'm doing it here, it's because I like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do it.
Yes.
And so then I can focus and I give my 150% or 200% in everything that I do. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm grounded. I can visualize and just vision and, you know, focus on the project versus like hey, there's a timeline, just gotta get it done. Boom, it goes.
Okay, so you meaning like your clients,
Yep.
they don't even give you a deadline?
Nope. So if
Really?
so, the way I, I don't advertise. I don't.
Yes.
A lot of it is word of mouth. Somebody sees something on somebody else's car. Who did it?
Yeah.
You know, what, where is this guy? What's his shop?
Sure.
And when I sent him a home address, they were like, wait, what? He works out of his house. But, just like a lot of things, a little cliche, but you don't have to be have a big space. Small things, or great things come in small places, right?
Yes.
And
Great
so-
things come in small packages?
Yes.
That's what
Amazon
she
packages.
said.
But you know what I mean. It was more because when I did that, it became monotonous. It was just I was doing assembly work. I was doing the same thing over and over, welding the same stuff, and it wasn't fun.
Right.
Where here, by trade, I could turn wrenches.
Yes.
I do all my engine swaps. Obviously, there's no lift here. I do all my K swaps. Ron Scar, the white ITR that I did a full titanium header.
Yep.
Exhaust. It's all done here. Little space. I don't need much. You don't really need a lot of space when you're doing that type of work. You saw radars, the yellow ITR.
Yeah.
That car was fully built here. It was pretty much ground up. We stripped it down, took it all apart. I worked on the engine. We sent the car to Toto, who's also local painter.
Yeah.
Sent him the car and got the paint done over there, and came back and did final assembly here.
So not just fab, but just
No.
straight up mechanical work.
Everything.
Everything.
This right here, I have an engine stand. This is pretty much, I build my engines here. My tranny from the EK is here. It's waiting on the, pretty much all the parts are here for the EK. So it's kind of just one of those things, and everything is pretty much done in this garage. As little as it may be, I just do as much as I can. That's the fab work for another car that is gonna come back. I usually just order materials as I go as I need. But to get back to what you were saying, a lot of my customers, I don't even consider them customers, because a lot of them become my friends, or
Sure.
if they're local, we know each other. We have a small community, so it's kind of, I work with them if the timeline works, because most of the time I still have a 9 to 5. Most of the times it's the weekends that I get to work on their car. So if they have a deadline, I don't have a problem, pointing them to another fabricator who might be able to help them out and meet that deadline. But if they say, hey, I don't really have a timeline, this is what I want to do, and they kind of, like this Cadillac, he pretty much gave me a free range. He's like, do whatever, mount the turbo wherever you think would fit, and to me, that's the perfect spot.
Yeah, it is a perfect spot.
So, when you see this car behind you in the rearview mirror, that's all I was thinking. If I saw this behind me,
Yes.
and the turbo is spooling,
Yes. And you look and it's the center of the grill.
I won't even tap my gas to make any sound.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, he was pretty wanted to keep it kind of a streetable, and it's a wagon. That's the main thing, right?
It's a
wagon.
CTS-V wagon.
It's a wagon. So he wanted to make sure it's somewhat of a sleeper, but doing fab work on this, it's a big motor, small engine bay, everything's pretty tight in here. So when I started making the manifolds for it, it's like, man, had to move some things, kind of just work with what I have. But I'm not new to it. There's other jobs that I've done to where at first you look at it and you're like, I don't know if I could do it. But
Yeah.
Persistence and just vision and focus, and believing in yourself that you could do it. And this is the outcome of, I guess, what I can do. But I'm still learning. Every day is a learning process. So, but yeah, this is kind of the setup. It's still in the beginning stage of, well, I would say halfway point. Got the manifolds mocked up, the turbo solidly, it's mounted solid. Kind of get everything ready for the air to water intercooler. So Oh yeah, man. Look at that. Look at that. Oh man. If I saw that behind me, yeah, I'd definitely,
Yeah, that placement is very gangster.
Yeah, it's crucial right there.
It's super gangster, man.
So, I was stuck because this is, you know, you see me, I do a lot of Hondas and Acuras, but, you know, keep you out of your element. Just check yourself, I guess. You know, I'm not much of an ego person, but I always want to, you know, challenge myself, kind of see if I could do it, and also help somebody achieve their goals and their, you know, the dream for the car. Make it happen, you know, so. Yeah, pretty much still have a little bit of, you know, like you saw that I hand draw like you said, you gotta have somewhat of a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just mocking up for the air to water for this one, kind of look online, see what we have, what they offer. You know, I could have, I guess, built the air to water, but for efficiency and you know, somebody already makes a similar type of design.
Okay.
Just changing the measurements of where you know, the engine would be.
Yeah.
The guy makes it, it's like in the middle already.
Yes.
So we just, and this is the same design as what he had, and so we pretty much just moved it around. I think it's on the other side too. Yeah, this is his drawing.
So this particular company, you said this works so well for what we're doing.
Yep.
Just use it.
Yep.
Okay.
Why change it? You know, and
sure.
There's only one end cap that we needed to change, and the location.
And the guy who makes it will change that.
Yep.
Oh, so that's cool.
Yeah. So
it's not a hard shelf item.
Yeah. So he was actually pretty surprised. Like, you know, we sent this type of like hand drawn. He's like, that's probably one of the good ones. People usually just sketch it out and like, you know, it's just like, here you go.
I see.
So, you know, he wanted to work with us, so. Yeah, so kind of first thing was like pretty much mount the turbo, you know, figure out the location, a good spot. Obviously, being technical, there's a limit to how far you can tilt the turbo.
Yeah.
You know, so this is less than 15 degrees, it's at 10 degrees tilt back. And one of the other reasons why I did that too is to match the grill. Yes. To actually look a little straight, because the way the grill comes out, it's more of a, you know, I guess this way. But maybe
I see what you're saying here. Yeah.
So you see that there's a little bit of a, how would you say that, concave or
yeah, and so you wanted to just get that angle right.
Yeah, you know, use my eyeball gauge.
Yeah.
A lot of this is kind of vision, a lot of, you know, just looking at it, test fitting, and see where I'm happy, you know. But this was the best location for it. That will give me room for the either the downpipe and the wastegates. So this is all handmade and cut and welded, and then wastegate placement is usually always crucial too. Yep. You know, you want it to flow in, and the other side will be over here. I haven't welded it because I still need to extend this pipe and pretty much put the other wastegate here, so that will look symmetrical. But this was so that the air to water will pretty much, I'm gonna have to like cut this off and weld the engine here. Yep. And then that air to water will pretty much sit right here. I see. And then make mounts for it. And then remember, this thing, you still have to have a radiator. Yeah. And so that's one of the other reasons why we went with the air to water, so not a massive intercooler. Mm-hmm. And this air to water is it's rated at 2,000 horsepower, so plenty.
And how much is this setup gonna make?
Shooting for, you know, all of it, 15 somewhere. It's
about 15.
Yeah. So this is an 82 mil turbo. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty big compared to what we normally see on 4 cylinders, but again, it's a big 6.2 V8. So.
Yeah, but this CTS-V is factory supercharged. Yep. So it's supposed to be able to handle all the power.
Yep. It has a built head now too. So it has built heads. You know, has a cam in it. Pretty much set up for this. He knew that he wanted to go turbo. Yeah. So he pretty much set up the motor to handle, you know, boost. I guess the bottom end I think he said it's still stock, but the head work is there.
And then what about the transmission?
Just a torque converter.
Okay.
Upgraded to like, I think it's rated up to 15 or 1800 horsepower.
Okay.
Torque converter. Apparently the trans can handle that.
So what is this going to be on what, Washington 92 pump?
I think he'll tune them both. I think he was planning to do
flex fuel.
Yeah, some E85 maybe.
Okay, E85 and pump.
Yeah. So somewhere around there, we'll see.
Sick.
So again, it's just, you know, trying to make everything work. Limited space. I had to obviously make this mount here for the crash bar, and had these plates cut locally, hand cut these, and then use some deal tubing.
Yeah.
Make sure that you can pretty much move the whole car.
Yeah, off the turbo.
So that's the crucial part. But yeah, placing the turbo was the biggest hurdle. Everything else around it, you can work around it.
Yeah.
You know, I had to swap the valve covers because the oil fill was actually over here.
Yeah.
Which it's pretty tight already on this side, so I had to swap it over to make sure there's clearance. So I mean, it's pretty tight everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't have JDM fingers, it'd be hard, you know.
Stupid.
But you know, it's just type of those things that you have to do. Part of the process, part of the fabrication. You know, you run into issues, you kind of have to figure it out and find a way.
So how did this particular customer find you?
So so long story. He has, actually it's sitting in the back of the house over there. He has a 2000 Civic Si, full cage, 8.5 cert.
Mm-hmm.
And he was it was actually a drag car. I think he ran it at the track like a few times. And then blew it up and then wanted to redo the whole thing. He sent it out to get some work done. He just kind of lost interest in the car.
Okay.
And so I wanted the shell. And, you know, my wife's like, oh, you know, you should just get that one, has a cage, because she doesn't want me racing in a purple car with no cage.
With no cage, yeah.
So, which, you know, for sure. Ended up asking him if he would sell it to me, and he's like, yeah, sure. You know, he's like, I don't want to do anything to the car, and you can pretty much get it. And then, you know, I was pretty much ready to hand him the cash, handed it over, hands it back, and it's like, you gotta do a turbo kit for me.
Okay.
So you know, it's kind of.
So it ended up being almost like trade for labor?
It pretty much, but you know, it was a quick cash back, you know, kind of one of those things. So, I mean, I wanted to help him out, and the funny thing is he actually owns a shop too, and they do some fabrication as well.
Oh, okay.
But I guess, you know, he's seen my work. I'm small. I focus on one big project at a time.
Yeah.
You don't see like 10 cars here.
Sure.
I'm usually, and that's how I like to do it. I like to start it, work on it, and have like a long, you know, project. These things are not just kind of overnight, 1 week deal. You know, it takes time, parts, materials, everything needs to be ordered.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he knows, I guess, the type of person, or you know, my work ethic against when I'm working on these cars. You know, I'm careful. I tape everything up. I take care of it like it's my car.
Yeah.
So, and I work on it like it's my car. And I think a lot of guys see that and they appreciate that, and I do too. Like,
absolutely.
You know, when somebody's taking care of your stuff, you know, the way that you would, I mean, you could see that, you know, person can do pretty much everything that you wanted and take care of everything.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. So, but yeah, now I have I kind of mentioned it actually on the Super Street that I told Sam I was building the EK hatch, which you saw some on the Instagram post.
Yeah.
So you'll probably see that on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, and then the shell that I got, that's gonna be my all-wheel drive stuff. I really like the street strip, just because.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, there's the all-wheel drive stuff right there.
Yes.
That's
your viscous coupler, your drive shaft,
and then the pumpkin back there.
Yes.
So you can move that. So yeah, got the essentials. You know.
You guys know what's going on right there.
Yeah. So that's for the all-wheel drive 2000 Civic. I mean, it doesn't look like anything right now, but you know, it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm excited about this project.
So when is this one supposed to be finished?
So we're looking, that one had a lead time for the air to water for about 2-3 weeks or so.
Okay.
And so I'm waiting on that just because I don't want to keep going on. I could finish these right now, but then I don't want to box myself in and run into some issues with running the charge piping, because this is a 4-inch pipe.
Yes.
This is also a 4-inch pipe. I only got about 8.5 inches between these two.
Yes. So, you got 4-inch ins.
Yeah. And then, you know, you still got to run these piping to go to the merge over here.
So you got 4-inch and 4-inch,
Yep.
and there's only 8 inches between them.
8.5 maybe. You know.
Do you already have a plan for how you're gonna connect it?
Yeah, pipe cuts.
So, a few of them.
Real tight.
Yeah.
Real tight angles on the pie cuts. Which, you know what's funny? It's a lot of guys, they see like pie cuts and they're like, yo, I want that. You know?
Yes.
And I'm not, for being technical, you only use pie cuts if you need to.
Space.
It's this, you know, it's like you have no other choice.
Right. But it's become a visual.
The look, exactly.
It's become a look. And
Yeah.
people just want it.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's a good old regular 30-degree turn,
Yeah.
pie cuts.
Well, one thing that I smile about, or, you know, as a fabricator, you see a pie cut and it's straight.
and
and
you're
I'm
just
like,
why?
Why? It's a straight pipe.
Yes.
And you pie cut the straight. Like, I mean, they didn't pie it, they just cut it.
Yeah.
But it's a straight.
Yes.
You know, and it's just, you know, I guess to each of its own, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, I'm more of a function all the time. It's always it has to function. I don't care if I had to sacrifice a little bit of the aesthetic, but it has to function 100%.
Yes.
120%.
Yes.
So it, you know, it is what it is. But some guys will, I'm like, hey, you know, I could get this done if we just use regular mandrel bends.
Yes.
But they want pie cuts.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, now you add more cost.
Sure.
And
But
more
they're
labor.
down.
They're down. You know, because I mean, like this is not. It's not easy to, you know, just cut all these and, you know, I cut it bandsaw over there. This is a straight pipe. Just comes just like this, you know.
Yep.
And I have my own angle that I cut. It's pretty common, you know, it's 7.5 degrees or so on each end, which makes you know, 15 degree. And so yeah, this is for the Civic, the gray one that was here a few weeks or last weekend.
Yeah.
So that one has a Rotrex that I'm doing. So doing the cold side.
Yeah.
Mounting the intercooler for them. But yeah, there's pie cuts everywhere, man. Pie cut on this one.
All right, so let's move on over to this one.